Nigeria's sprint sensation, Favour Ofili, who reportedly switched her nationality. We hear she's in the process of switching her sporting nationality from Nigeria to Turkey. That's according to major sports outlets over the weekend. Her exit deals a major blow to Nigeria's better hopes ahead of future international events. Now, Ofili's decision stems from years of frustration with Nigeria's athletics leadership. In 2021, she missed the Tokyo Olympics due to the Athletics Federation of Nigeria and National Anti-Doping Committee's failure to meet mandatory testing requirements, a blunder that cost 14 athletes their Olympic dreams. You do recall that in scenario. Right. Some of those athletes have since moved their allegiance to other countries. I think Echiwoke moved her allegiance back to the United States and ended up winning an Olympic medal in the discus event. Sources says that Ofili has filed a formal complaint with the Athletics Integrity Unit and began the transfer process on the 31st of May. Now, you do recall that Ofili was also involved in that fiasco at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games as well, where her name incredibly was missing from the list of athletes that were supposed to run in the women's 100 meters. Excuse me. Well, but this is not new. Ofili basically follows a growing list of Nigerian athletes who ditched the country for better opportunities. Icons like Francis Obikwelu, Glory Alozie, Florence Ekpo-Umoh, Salwa Eid Naser, Femi Ogunode, all of them made similar moves. But this one, it is absolutely incredible. And it has been raising dust like you will not believe, Onye.
Yeah, you know, has generated a lot of controversy, like you said. And Ofili's action is quite justified. You know, you have already said it all at the Tokyo Olympics, because our athletes did not do the mandatory out of competition test due to the crisis between their federation and the then sports minister, who wanted his person to control the federation. The then president hid the password, and that affected the athletes. Then 4 years.
Wait, Gerard. Wait, let me get this straight. The president of the federation hid the password.
Yes.
Password of what?
Password that they are supposed to use in assessing information, correspondence with World Athletics.
That is the official email address.
Yes.
Of the federation.
Of the federation.
The former president hid the password.
He hid the password because he was at loggerheads with the then sports minister. So because of that, I think that's sabotage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's what we say here, that nobody usually pays for crimes that they have committed. So if that administrator had been called to order, then what happened 4 years after?
Would not have happened.
So Ofili missed the opportunity of winning medal at the Tokyo Olympics. 4 years later again,
same thing happened.
Same thing happened. So you still want her. I've read a lot of comments from accredited to administrators saying that Ofili is unruly, is undisciplined.
Someone called her a mercenary.
At Budapest World Championship, she refused to stay in the camp with bigger athletes, in quote, like Amoso and Sebrume.
We also talk about the African Athletics Championships in Cameroon as well.
She refused to come for trials. At the last African Games, it was the minister, John Eno, who, but if she was found once at that time, why didn't they sanction her?
A big question. But we're being joined by Deji Ogenyingbo, who is the country manager of Making of Champions, one of Nigeria's biggest athletics promotion companies. Deji, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Atlanta in the United States of America. Now, this is an athlete that you have documented her exploits so well. Recently, you were even still speaking to her at the Atlanta track event. But did this come as a surprise to you? That's the big question.
Great to understand. Well, I wouldn't say it came as a surprise. If you follow the trend of track and field the last couple of days, seeing the Jamaican haven't switched nationality, it's still in the process. Nothing is official yet until you go on their World Athletics page and see that they no longer represent their current country. But you can also say for a fact that the athlete has switched for. I mean, it's all rumors now, and it's all got fired. No doubt about that. And you already talked about the precedent of what has transpired between former athletes that represented Nigeria as well as ones that are now representing other countries. So for the African ones are the ones that have represented Nigeria at the senior level and gone on to represent which have been represent other countries, especially believe they are now doing well at the elite level. And when I talk about elite level, consistently qualifying for the World Championship of the Olympics, winning Diamond League in Favour Ofili's case now, breaking the world record on the women's 150 meters, which is an event that is really won. But when it does, I mean, we've seen some of the best in history, the likes of Shirley Weevil, the likes of Sherita Jackson, all running the event. So it already takes credence to our ability and the high-profile nature of people who we would say is a medal contender any given day for Nigeria. But after what trust, Paris Olympics, I felt like it was sort of broken Camel's back, and she couldn't deal with things again. Let's not forget that this is an athlete that's generally based in America. In fact, for the majority of last year, since she's done professional, she really traveled to Europe to compete, competing only in America. Coach Deji Ogenyingbo, who is the head coach of Indiana State University, where she ran in college and was dominant, perhaps only at the final, was better than I during that duration. She decided to remain with him despite signing with Adidas. Typically, most uniform things don't allow that. So, our management company, led by the manager of Alozie, Mark Wetmore, Global Sports Athletics, these are the guys that, of course, are based in Boston, Massachusetts, right? So, literally, all what he does around America. And I mean, this is not the first time we're having this sort of high-profile athlete in America. Qatar was in that realm too. So, yeah, she had the allegiance to Nigeria, despite the inadequacies of the country itself. But bottom line is that after what transpired in Paris, it felt financially it was a loss. Emotionally, it took a toll on her, and psychologically, she just couldn't deal with the inconsistency of the federation, the lacklusterness of not being able to meet basic needs, allowances not being paid on time, athletes not knowing to keep the beer perhaps a couple of days to go to major championships, having issues with visa. Literally, the federation is integrated, and they don't have a process to be able to transition athletes they invite.
So Deji, sorry to cut you short.
Itself.
Hello, Deji. Sorry, I need to sorry to butt in, because from what the research I made, we're hearing that in order for her to switch her allegiance to another country, she has to wait another 4 years before she can compete. Also, the fact that she also accepted a grant from the Nigerian authorities in order for her to continue her athletic career implies that the 3 or 4 year waiting period will only count from next year, which would mean that she would miss out on the World Athletic Championships and also the Olympic Games as well. Can you confirm this?
They keep tier 1 athlete brand. Now, whatever the amount is, I don't know. We also know that there was a recommendation from the committee that was set up to look into the case of Ofili and some other athletes that were disgruntled by the then Minister of Sport. They recommended to give, I think, 10 million naira. Whether that money was given to her, I don't know, right? What I can confirm is the duration of which she can speak, and it's a 3-year period. But Ofili is stating a case saying that she has been outdone by the federation by missing out on 1.5% consideration competed in the tournament for meters. And if you find a country that's willing to give her or platform her the right way for her to still achieve, she still have to wait for 3 years. But the rules are 3 years. So whether she pleads the case and is heard by the Athletic Integrity Unit or the panel set up by World Athletics, and they might reduce it to a year or 2, we don't know. It's all speculative at this point in time. Point is, she's fed up with Nigeria, and the federation have said they've not received any notice yet. Another point of notice, whatever switch of allegiance that would happen would have to be sanctioned by the AFN. World Athletics will not do anything without Nigeria. So until they get the correspondence and the details of it, we would all be speculating.
Okay.
I mean, we have an issue with a manager like Emmanuel Bamidele in 2018, where he was meant to go to the Commonwealth Games in Australia, and he left the camp to go to Qatar, right?
Hello? Oh, wow. Well, we're having some network issues with our good friend Deji Ogenyingbo. We're hoping that we can get him back. But, Ewuchi, this is amazing. And she's not going to Jamaica. She's not going to the usual suspects, the Qatars, the Bahrains. She's going to Turkey. Now, Turkey are making a major play for some of the biggest athletes in world sport right now. In fact, it's what some people are even calling Avengers Assemble, because from what we're seeing, they're harvesting some of the very best in the world. Rajendra Campbell, who is an Olympic shot put bronze medalist, also switching allegiance to Turkey as well. From Jamaica, nonetheless, there's Roger Stoner, an Olympic discus gold medalist. He won gold medal in the last Olympic Games, right? And there's also Jaden Hibbert, who's a multiple Jamaican and NCAA triple jump champion as well. Now, Favour Ofili, we're also hearing that there might be a $500,000 bonus in the mix for any of these athletes. That's, by my estimation, that's like 750 million naira. No athlete in Nigeria's history, in my opinion, has been given $500,000. So, first and foremost, Turkey. Then, secondly, she claims that this is not for financial reasons, and she has a good case. The Olympic Games in 2021, she was hard done by. At the Olympic Games in 2024, she was hard done by. But with $500,000, can we honestly say that this is not for the money? Allegedly $500,000.
Well, today, for me, I really don't care if it was about the money or because of the way she has been treated over the years and all that.
But the facts are clear.
The facts are clear. I think it's a combination of everything. Because if you have been hard done, if you have been unfairly treated by the country you represent, and a better offer comes, and with juicy offer, very lucrative. In addition to the $500,000, I also heard, from my research, that she's going to get $50,000 every month, like an allowance.
$50,000 every month.
Every month in the stipend.
That can't be serious. Did you say $50,000 or $5,000?
$50,000.
Wow.
$50,000. So
we need to clear that. I'm not sure it's 50.
So I saw it. Even athletics journalist Carly Thomas, shared it. I saw it before I left the office.
That's $600,000 a year.
So with this humongous amount, who will not leave the country that has not treated you fairly, has not allowed you to, showcase, win the opportunity of winning a medal at the Olympic Games? That has a panel was set up at the end of the day. I told you today. Sometimes they accuse us of being armchair critics. I told you that nothing will come out of this panel.
You did, to be honest, you did say that. You did say that. But thankfully, Deji Ogenyingbo is back. Now, Deji, thank you so much for joining us back again. Now, I just mentioned the fact that Turkey, now that's not the usual suspect for many of these athletes that switching nationality. Usually it's the Gulf states, the likes of Bahrain and Qatar. We're hearing there's a $500,000 bonus in, do I say transfer fee, if let's use the football balance. Now, which also mentioned the fact that she'll be getting $50,000 a month just for moving to Turkey. I don't know if you can clarify that for us as well. And Turkey also harvesting some of the very best athletes in the world. Like I mentioned, they've taken the Olympic discus gold medalist, a bronze medalist as well, one of the brightest NCAA athletes as well, 3 Jamaicans. Now, Favour Ofili, what's going on in Turkey?
Well, let's say that these are extreme circumstances. Not every country can afford to do this, right? But it's also important to know that these are the elite of the athletes. So there's going to be a very small select group that Turkey can recruit. And the other ones fall within numbers, right? Only one person can win out of the Olympic gold medals in an event. Ofili, of course, will put out the editor with contribution, also a world record holder in our own event, right? So it's a situation where you see that Turkey wants to invest long term. They want to get like a 4x1 team. They also want to use this athletes to inspire the younger generation in Turkey, similar to what Bahrain did. For one thing is certain is they cannot have the talent organically, so they are left to coach in the way Bahrain did. I mean, we've seen the fall of how the Bahrainians who recruited athletes from Nigeria when they were even younger, supposed to start from like 2012 and 2013, and now they are not competing constantly at the top. So $100,000, I mean, it's big money, but even Americans, the British, UK athletes don't pay that much, right? So these are the Gulf nations paying that much too. And if they can offer anybody to that money that is on a bit less, of course they'll think twice, considering how track is tilted towards major championships and it is based on your nationality. So most of track and field athletes earn money based on the fact that they're competing at the World Championship or an Olympic. Unlike football, where it's club-centric, where you can make money off your club dynasty, play for the national team, that only pays only $20,000 per week. Now with Grand Slam track, of course, they're now seeing more incentive. But until we get that level, nations will be offering athletes more money to compete for them.
Okay.
In fact, the US, for example, don't offer up to $2,000 for a gold medal, right? And that's literally the pick of points. For the pride of competing for the USA, the environment is also there. Also gives you more marketing opportunities.
So, Deji, finally, just to close this out, is this a clear and present danger? Is this basically the future of Nigerian athletics, whereby athletes who feel that they cannot continue to abide by the shoddy treatment that they get at the hands of Nigeria's Athletics Federation, is this the future that they will now begin to leave for greener pastures?
They already leave it. Every Nigerian is leaving Nigeria for greener pastures. So that's not news. The news now is it worth it for them, the countries they are going to? What's the long-term sustainability? I would always fall back to Toby Amuson. She literally ran through all doors to be able to do this for Nigeria, literally and metaphorically. And we've seen the positive side of it and the upside thing. Are things still being done well despite Amuson's new ways of fame and achievement? Not necessarily. But, at the lower level, I've seen athletes reach out to me in the last 2 days asking for contact if they can get to that level. Because, like I've said on this show before, we have literally less than over 95% of athletes that come to college in the United States will not make it as professional athletes because the bar or the entry level to compete at the top level is very high. Most of them will not get the contract. So why not defer or switch to nationalities that can guarantee you money for competing at the Asian Games or European Championship, give you allowances, they're guaranteed that they'll take care of you if you're injured, help you with supplements, even at the very base level, which Nigeria will not give you, and these are what these athletes are looking forward to.
Well, Deji Ogenyingbo, country manager for Making of Champions, thank you for joining us tonight on Game On. You've not painted exactly a very bright future because what you're basically saying is that there will be more Favour Ofilis in the future. But thank you so much for coming through, Deji. Always a pleasure to have you.